Hey guys, oh you can see my ideal client avatar on the board there. Just move this across a bit so we've got a bit more of a nice bubbly background. Welcome to today's Leap live stream. Leap as in you made the leap, now what? So welcome, I do these every Thursday at 2 o'clock. These are trainings for you guys as coaches, healers, therapists, to make the most of your business, to grow your business, to hit your income goals. So today's topic is I'm going to give you kind of 10 key tips on how to continually get leads to create cash in a crisis, to continually grow your business and create leads in spite of these challenging times. Because guys, this is unprecedented. You know, we all know that. These times are, we need to make some adjustments. We need to perhaps pivot, and I'm going to talk about this, you know, a bit more in a second, but I want to really impress the message in this live stream that yes, things are happening beyond our control, but you need to focus on what you do have control over. So this isn't a time to freak out and panic and melt down. Absolutely far from it. You know, I see people who are in fear and paralysis and, you know, feeling like they can't cope with all of this, and the noise in their head is driving them crazy. And actually it's a mindset, it's a state, and you have control over your state. You have control over your focus. You have control over what you choose to focus on. And so, you know, instead of behaving in a way that feels powerless, to actually understand that you absolutely have complete power over your circumstances, over your situation, over what you're creating for yourself. That's not changed. We are energetic beings. We have everything inside of us to create whatever it is we desire. That hasn't changed. The law of attraction just suddenly hasn't gone, I'm out of here. You know, that's not changed. So I really just kind of want to come in here and yes, I'm going to give you some really powerful tips, and I'm going to give you some kind of mindset tips, some real strategy to help you to go out there and continue to drive your business forward. Because if you don't show up, if you don't contribute to your communities and support the people that need you, who still have the problem that you solve, somebody else will, guys. Somebody else will. So if you're too scared, or you've got limiting beliefs around, oh, you know, I can't now, it's not the right time, then somebody else is going to step up, and they're going to start talking to your audiences, and your audience still have the problem that you solve, but they're going to go with somebody else. And so, you know, I was talking with my coach yesterday about this being a time, and I completely agree with this, that we're going to start seeing other coaches popping up because their business has closed down in another area, and suddenly they think, do you know what, I'm going to pop up, I'm going to be an online life coach, I'm going to help other people. You know, one of the examples that was given up with my coach yesterday was she knows somebody whose cafe has shut down, and they've just sent emails to all their friends, anybody that they know in their community, offering branding services. A cafe owner. Now, obviously, I don't know what this cafe owner's background is, but these people are coming in because they're seeing that there's a world online where I can make money, and they're not as certified, they're not as qualified, they're not as experienced as you guys. So I really want to just, you know, if you get anything from that today, that if you don't show up and continue to do your work, then somebody else will step up and speak to your people, and you know, and you're going to miss out. This is not the time to recoil. As coaches, healers, therapists, light workers, however you want to describe yourself, this is the time to actually lead from the front. Show up and step into your power. You know, they say, don't they, challenges, crises, these times are character building. And they are. And I'm sure you agree with me that any time you've experienced extreme pain where you've hit threshold, those have been powerful moments. They've been the moments where you've made that shift, you've made that decision, has you know, been birthed, and you just think, I'm going to rise. Enough is enough. And I think that sweet spot, that enough is enough moment is so, so powerful. So pain is not the enemy, it's our focus. And what we're focusing on is either driving us to move forward, to shift and pivot in our businesses, to make the necessary adjustments, or it's going to drive us down the rabbit hole and be all overwhelming and all-consuming. And you know, one of the positives in my Paid in Full community, I put out you know, an outreach in there this morning, and they're doing great. They're really positive because they're working on the mindset. They know the tools and techniques, but we all have those tools and techniques at our disposal. As coaches, we are coaches. We are in such a fabulous, fortunate position. We know what to do. It's whether we're doing it. So guys, that's my quick kind of message to you. First thing, that's the first thing I want to say. So that was an important point to make in preparation for the tips I want to share with you as to keep you showing up, and know that you don't need to suddenly dive into paid ads or anything that's going to cost you money to attract your clients. They're still all out there. In fact, engagement, presence on Facebook, on social media has gone through the roof. People are at home, they are scrolling. So they are at their phones and their laptops. So this is the perfect time for you to go out there with your messaging. And yes, as I mentioned, you may, my fringe is getting long, you may need to pivot. You know, one of my clients, she helps healthcare professionals who are burnt out, stressed out, I mean, what a time, but they're not focusing on themselves right now. They are fully immersed in dealing with the overflow in the hospitals. So she's pivoting and focusing on a next level ideal client avatar, where she can still use her skills and all her experience and her knowledge. But she's had to make a very quick pivot instead of, you know, diving into a rabbit hole thinking I'm screwed. You know, no healthcare professional has got any time or energy or mental capacity or bandwidth to be able to think about, you know, doing the work with me. However, now she's created a pivot, she can still go out there and powerfully serve the next level avatar. So, you know, just make those adjustments. Just have an open mind. Ask yourself different questions that are more empowering. What can I, you know, how can I make this work for me? What do I need to do? What would I need to believe right now that would help me continue to show up for my community? How can I serve at a deeper level? What other offers can I create that will enable me to help people at a much deeper level, but still attract them right now? This is, you know, this is powerful stuff. So we're going to be talking today about how to go out there and generate leads and get your calendar booked up with discovery calls through organic reach. So as I said earlier, we're going to look at energy, mindset, strategic things that you can do immediately, like right away, to start seeing results in your business. One of the things I do for my clients, you know, when they're at this point of like, I've been showing up for 12 months or 18 months or even a bit less, you know, 8 months, 9 months. I've been doing the do. I've been showing up, Sinai, you know, I've built a following, I've got my little community, I've got my Facebook group, but nothing's converting. And I have the ability to go in there and straight away see this is why, this is what needs fixing, and making those little tweaks. And sometimes it's just a little bit of a tweak in your messaging, in your communication, and maybe your ideal client isn't quite on point and you're slightly out of alignment. All of those things could be just a small tweak, a small fix that will shift your results. And just be aware of that, you know, it could just be a small fix. You don't have to throw everything out in order to just be able to get incredible results. I'll talk a bit more about that towards the end. Okay, so I want to bring you back as well to thinking about why you started this business in the first place. Let's just come back to center. Why did you start this business in the first place? You started it to help people, to make a difference in the world, to share a message that's in your heart, to impact and influence others, to create healthier lifestyles, better relationships, better mindset, build businesses, improve their sales, whatever niche you're in, just come back to center of why you started this business, because none of that is changing. None of that has changed. Your job is to continue to focus on your purpose, your bigger vision, and allow that to pull you forward instead of the hysteria to drag you down. So first things first, come back to center, focus on why you started your business in the first place, fall in love with it again. Because when you're in a place of anxiety and fear and panic and money worries and all of that, it's going to disconnect you sense of purpose, and that stress is perpetuating more stress and attracting more of the you start to notice more crap around you, and you just it's like you start to absorb it, the negativity. So okay, so let's dive in. I've got my notes here. So the first thing, and I know this is always the first step when it comes to anything I talk about, generating leads, making sales, having effective marketing, making sure your messaging is on point, making sure you feel amazing, like you feel really confident, you're leaping out of bed with excitement. All of that, guys, tip number one comes down to the big C word. It's clarity. So just make sure, check in, having clarity, and I'll give you the 4 questions that I really want you to make sure that you can answer succinctly and clearly. And if you can't, drop me a message below. Let's jump on a 15-minute laser call. I'm here for you, okay? I'm not going to leave you hanging if you're struggling with this. But the 4 questions that you must have nailed on your answers to is, who am I? Who am I? So when you think about that question, this is about understanding what is your credibility factor. What is it about you that sets you apart from anyone else who's operating in a similar niche? What's your credibility story? You don't have to be qualified to start a coaching business or be a coach, but you do need to be credible. So what are the links and skills in your story that sets you apart as being credible? It could be your story, it could be the challenges you've navigated and overcome, it could be your professional qualifications, it could be your previous career. But something in your story is what makes you credible. The second question is, what do I do? So of course, this is your niche, which is your zone of genius, the thing that you find so easy to do. Make sure you're clear on your niche and really aligned with it, because that will support your messaging. Third question, who do I serve? Who do I serve? Of course, your ideal client avatar. Now, again, you've heard me say this, but I'll say it anyway because there might be new people watching this. Your ideal client avatar, get really specific on who that one individual is. Again, you may need to pivot on the ideal client slightly if your normal audience are impacted, like frontline impacted by what's going on at the moment, or they may need you even more. So just think about my ideal client right now. Do I need to pivot them slightly and find them in a different point in their journey, or do they need me even more and I need to laser in on a new problem that I can solve, a specific problem that I can solve? So think about your ideal client, where they're at, what they're suffering with, what their pain is. I'll talk about more about that in just a second. But really understanding, everything in their life and where they are right now. So what I mean by that is, I see a lot of people, when I ask them, who's your ideal client, they say age between 30 and 45, for example. Age 30 to 50. My ideal client is a woman aged between 30 and 50. Now, that's not an ideal client avatar, and just putting it simply, somebody who is in their 30s compared to somebody who is in their 50s, completely different stages of the life cycle. They're completely different stages of their family life. Their priorities are completely different. Somebody in their 30s might be at that stage with young kids. Somebody in their 50s might be at the stage where they're starting to consider the empty nest as children are leaving, going to college or leaving home altogether. So they have different priorities. There are different things that keep them up at night. Could be a theme in the problem, but it's the way they react to it and why it impacts them that is completely different. So make sure you bring that age in closer so you can get an understanding of what else is going on in their life that you can talk to them about, that you know is impacted by the problem they're struggling with. Okay, and then the fourth question, so we've got who are you, so what's your credibility factor, what do you do, your niche, who do you serve, your ideal client avatar, and what's your mission, so I call this your why. Now your why in this instance when you're answering this question is not that you want to leave a legacy for your kids, or you want to make multiple six figures in your coaching business, or you want to, be a highly sought after coach and speaker and author and all of that kind of stuff. That's your personal stuff. Your ideal clients, your audience don't care about that stuff. The why and the mission that I'm talking about that you want to be really clear on, because that will come out in your messaging, is the mission that will impact the world, the positive message for the world. What is it that if you share this message, people will jump on board with and get it? So, for example, one of my key messages is that, you've got to be operating from a place of alignment and passion, because when you're operating from that place, then you are in your zone of genius, you are expressing your gifts into the world, you're operating at your highest and best self. That's what we're here to do, that's why we were given this gift. Anytime we struggle, it's because we're not aligned with our passion and our purpose, and that's why life is challenging. So that's one of my key messages, and my audience, they jump on board with that, they get it. It's like, yes, that really resonates. So that's, get clear on kind of the mission, the message that you have that is a bigger picture message that you want to share with the world. Okay, so that's tip number one. This is about getting really crystal clear on what it is you do, what you offer. The second tip that I have now around kind of going out there and generating leads is a reframe in how you think about your activities. So a lot of coaches, especially kind of when they come to me, or they, I speak to a lot of coaches, they talk in terms of attracting clients is hard. I'm trying to attract clients would be one way of, that you might term. I'm going out there, I'm doing my best, I'm trying to attract clients, but it's hard. Nobody's biting, nothing's happening, I'm putting stuff out there, what's the point? And you start to kind of see how your mindset is going to go down a bit of a rabbit hole. And the law of attraction, of course, your energy, whatever you think, whatever you're putting out there, whatever your state of being is, that sort of stress, this isn't working frame of mind, that's going to just perpetuate your state and your situation. So the reframe here is actually to not consider your activity as just being a means to an end to book calls. Because guys, it really isn't. Come back to the purpose. Why are you doing this in the first place? To help people, to make an impact, to be a highly sought after speaker, coach, to make a difference in the world. So actually, when you come at your activity from a place of pure contribution, that's a massive switch in how you see the activity. So when you think about that, you're just thinking, do you know what? What's the message I've got to share today? I've got to go out there. I want to, hit go live, or I want to, write a post and put a beautiful graphic with it. I want this to impact somebody today. I want to add value. You've heard me say this before. What do experts do? They teach. How, if you want to know, how do I be an expert? How do I show up as an expert? How do I stand out as an authority? Well, you do that by being one. And by being one, I mean show up, add value, do it from a place of love, do it from a place of pure contribution. Show up because you love what you do and you love your people, the message that you have to share, you love the people that you want to serve. When you can really shift that reframe, that puts a different energy behind everything you do. So your strategies right now, don't make them a means to an end. Make them from a place of love, from a place of connection, from a place of contribution, and put it out there because you have a message. You went through what you went through for a purpose. You didn't go through all that crap and challenge and conflict and chaos for nothing. And as a result of you navigating that journey, you now have skills, knowledge, wisdom, experience that is intellectual property that you can share and make a difference to your people. So can you see what a powerful reframe that is for your daily activity? So this isn't about, I need leads, I need discovery calls, I've got to get a sale. Shift the focus, shift your state, and just watch the energy change. And when your energy changes, your reality changes, your experience changes, because you're attracting something different. Do the same thing every day, get the same shit, just different day. And you invoke the law of reciprocity. I said it. I hate saying that word because I always get really nervous that I'm going to flub it up. The law of reciprocity. You give, 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 and you will get back. Maybe from not that, the same people, but other people, you will get it back. It's like, swirling vortex of contribution and receiving and giving. Always. So keep that flow. Stay in the flow state. Okay, guys. So, I've just lost my page. The other thing, so third tip, so we've got clarity, we've got contribution. The third tip is consistency. Now I know you've heard this before, there are many levels to consistency, so I just want to talk about what that really means. So, and why it's important. So consistency is about you showing up every day, maybe even multiple times a day. I remember hearing, she's a LinkedIn trainer called Helen, and I remember her saying in one of her trainings, she gets asked all the time, how often should I show up? And her answer to this question was, well, how hungry are you? And that made me giggle. It was like, it's a bit of a crass answer, but actually it's true. How hungry are you? Hungry for business, hungry for clients, hungry to be of service, hungry with passion. How hungry are you? Because if you're waking up in the morning and think, oh my God, I can't be asked to go out there and create content, and never works anyway. What kind of state? That's not going to generate any momentum. So being really consistent in your messaging and understanding that if you've got that drive, you've got that passion, you've got that energy, creativity will just flow through you. There are days where I'm just like, I have just produced so much content, it's like it's coming out of me, flowing forth, and it's just like I'm being inspired because I'm open to it. I love this stuff. I love what I do. I know I can add value. I know, in spite of engagement, that people are watching, that it drives results. Because I tell you, and this might be another tip, I can't remember, but it's not about what it looks like on social media, guys. It's not about what it looks like on social media. So if you're not getting the engagement, the likes, the comments, it doesn't matter. Know that people are watching you. They are. And so many times, my clients, and I've had this, still get it now, people will reach out saying, I've been following you for months. And it's my clients that always say, I've just had somebody say that. And I'm like, you get it now, you get it. So it's not about what it immediately looks like. Your people are watching you. And the real, genuine, authentic people that you can serve, your ideal clients, they're very unlikely to comment on your stuff anyway. They're the ones that aren't going to comment. They're the ones that are watching from the side. Why? Because they're dealing with their own shit. They don't want other people to see them commenting on your stuff because they don't want anyone else to know that actually they are struggling, and they don't want that out there. So they will reach out to you privately, but your job is to to harness their trust through your consistent messaging, keeping your messaging the same, through your consistent presence. So that's, another reason for consistency is it builds trust in the people that are watching you. They don't want some fly-by-night, here today, gone tomorrow. They want to know that you are in this for the long game, that you are somebody who is committed to service and has the information and the skills and the gifts to be able to powerfully serve them. So, that's a really important they're not going to comment, they're going to come in the back door as long as you keep showing up for them from the front and leading from the front. The other thing is a lot of coaches worry about what to talk about every day. They don't want to be repetitive. They're frightened of getting repetitive and boring perhaps. And the important thing here is you must be repetitive. Repetition is so important, and there's a number of reasons for this. The first reason is, again, when you're clear on your message and you repeat that message, you repeat it and you repeat it, you're standing firm, you're standing by your messaging. It builds that trust and respect that, she really stands by this. This is important. Whereas when you see those coaches that are flip-flopping and chopping and changing their messaging, and you think, do they really know what they're doing and what they're offering and what they're about? So repetition is really important. And I often say you don't see McDonald's, a really crap example because McDonald's are horrible, but you don't see McDonald's saying, do you know what, I think we need to pull back from the Happy Meal promos, we're being a bit repetitive. No, because they understand marketing is about repeated messaging. The other thing about repetition, especially when it comes to the personal development industry, which we're all in this coaching, healing, therapy, personal development world, is that often the message, well, not often, always, the message has to be drilled in more than once. And I know that probably you've had experiences where, and you might listen to a motivational speech, Les Brown, Tony Robbins, Lisa Nichols, Jack Canfield, whoever you love to listen to, Abraham Hicks, and you can listen over and over and over to the same speech. Why? Because every time you hear it, you get something different. Or every time you hear it, you just think, God, that popped. I get it now. I get it. And it's because you're at a different stage in the journey, or you're in a different frame of mind, or your mood is different. You need to hear something different that day. So actually, even though you're going out there with the same message, your ideal clients who are watching you, one day they may not get what they need from that message, but the next time they will. And so they'll know that, oh my God, she always says that, but right now I get it, it's popped. So that's another reason why absolutely be repetitive, be consistent in your messaging, and knowing that your ideal clients are watching. And next time you say the same thing over, that time it may resonate. You just don't know at what point it's going to hit home, but when they're ready, they will reach out to you. Okay, the fourth tip that I have for you is don't bite the hand that feeds you, is the title that I've given this tip. Don't bite the hand that feeds you. So many people will, I'll have conversations with people, they'll message me and say, I just hate social media. It's just so noisy. I hate it when people private message me and, they're trying to sell me stuff, and it just looks like everyone's just vying for attention, and, it's just all like puff balls in Paris photo shoots, and 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 you might resonate with some of that. It just absolutely can't stand social media, and it's like, worst thing in the world. They just want to switch off. And yes, I agree, it's very important to down tools, get away from social media, just to clear your own head and go into a silent reflective space. However, you've got to feel grateful for the platform that enables you to reach your audience. You know, if you are moaning and lambasting the very source of business, the very source of your ability to go out there and be the speaker you want to be, to go out there and share your message, teach your people, draw in an audience, gather people that you can connect with. You know, all of that is abundance, isn't it? That's abundance. When people reach out to you and ask to, you know, friend request you, and you get lots all at once, some people are like, what the Jiminy, whoa, go away. No, it's people wanting to connect with you. Well, for whatever reason, it doesn't matter, but that's an abundance of people, an abundance of connections. These are human beings on the other side of these buttons and pictures and screens. So people wanting to connect, your ability to reach out to people, so powerful. And again, law of attraction, if you are complaining and resenting the very source of your business, your clients, guess what? You're not going to get business and clients from that source. So shift your focus. Remember what social media actually facilitates. That's a huge shift. What does it actually enable you and facilitate you to do? For me, it enables me to stay at home as an introvert. I love it. So I sit in my gorgeous home office, kettle's not 10 yards away. You know, I can work from home, all thanks to the power of my social media platforms. And some of my best friends now have come through this platform, people from all over the world. So don't bite the hand that feeds you. That's my fourth tip. Okay, so fifth tip here is selling on social. I want to take kind of this bug out of the ointment because, you know, as I'm telling you to show up and be consistent in your messaging, go out there and find groups where your target audience are. So you've got your ideal client avatar, which is kind of here, and then above is your target audience. So you've got your kind of umbrella audience. So go find groups where your target audience are, go join them, go get a feel for them. Are they active groups? Is there a nice vibe? Is the host continually active in that group, supporting, taking care, doing, you know, trainings and giving? Is there a nice vibe in that group? So make sure that it aligns with your energy and your vibe. And as you check a few of the posts, you think, yeah, this is a nice group. Make sure that you're aligned with the groups. Don't just, you know, spray and pray and join any group. So be selective. That's the first thing. But as you're showing up in these groups, you might think, well, this is crap because there's so many restrictions in groups. I can't sell, you know, and these groups that have 1 day promo feed, and I might, you know, post in there, but I can only post in the feed and nobody looks at them anyway. So you've got all this stuff going on around, well, I can't sell and promote in these restrictive environments. So the point here is you're not selling in those groups. You're showing up, just as we've said, you're sharing your messages, you're adding value, and I can share with you some kind of framework around how to do that. But you're giving, you're teaching, you're sharing value, you're not being salesy, you're asking questions to support people, you're just really supporting that community. And what happens is, you do that enough and you do it consistently, you will start to stand out and engage with other people's posts. What happens is you begin to rise like cream. People begin to recognize you and your style and your face and your voice, all of that. Hey, Tabassum, hi, nice to see you. You rise like cream when you do that because there are so many people who cannot stick it out. You have to be different. You have to be different. You have to be the one that can ride it out. And you know, this is calling on faith. It is. It's calling on faith. In the early days when nothing's happening, you're calling on your faith to think, it's okay, I know I've got momentum, people are watching, you know, and just keep pushing through. But eventually, as the as the tide turns, not as the turd turns, as the tide turns, what will happen is there's a shift in momentum, because your activity at first, this is natural, this is the law of physics, this is, this is law. As you're showing up, there is a turning point, a pivot, and then momentum takes over. It's like when you first get on a bicycle, you are wobbly, it's slow, you can't get your balance, but as soon as you start to find your momentum and you start pedaling, very soon, before long, you're able to lift your feet and you are freewheeling, and that is momentum. Momentum then takes over and shifts the balance of how hard you need to work, how much you need to do. So as that momentum takes over, what happens is people love your stuff, people see your messaging, they start to resonate, they think, oh, she's always showing up, she's really consistent, I love what she says, I loved her post this morning, it really helped. What they do is they then go check you out. They check you out. So that's why you might get friend requests. You think, random, who are you? They found you in a group and they've checked you out. They like you, they've checked your profile, they might have bounced to your business page. So this is why, again, you've got to have, not again, the first time I've said it, but you've got to make sure that you're utilizing that kind of real estate on your personal profile, where you can take people to your business page or your website, and make sure that you're, even on your personal profile, you're using that with your branding, with your messaging. It's really, really key, because people will then check you out. They don't want to see your personal profile with a picture of a dog and your banner with a picture that is completely unrelated to what you do in your messaging. So make sure your profile is aligned with your professional image, your business image, whatever it is that you stand for in your business. Personal profile, banner, make it aligned with your mission and your message. So that as they bounce over from the group and they go check you out, they're curious, they want to know more, they'll friend you, and then you can start building that tighter connection, that relationship with them. When it comes to, we're still on selling on social, so we're not selling in groups, as I said, but where you are selling is obviously if you've got your own group, you have, you make the rules. You can sell and promote as much as you like in your own group, on your business page. See your business page as a shop window, so there's, you can promote in there. But I would always follow the 80-20 rule, where you give 80% just pure value, share inspiration, be of service, and then 20% promotion and sales posts. Now, occasionally there may be a tip in that. For me, sometimes when I'm promoting heavily on something, then I'll have a run of promotional posts, but there's always a key message in there. There's always some value, a teaching point that drives into the program that I might be promoting at the time. So 80-20 rule is always best, where you've got no restrictions on what you do. When it comes to your personal profile, before I go into the next tip, your personal profile is less restricted than your business page. I would encourage you to continue to give value to your audience on your personal profile. I know a lot of people feel uncomfortable about that, but this is your business. You're connecting more and more. Your audience is growing on your personal profile to be more of your ideal clients, and that is ideal, because you online, this is your business, and I know you can keep it separate. And I know in my early days I did not have the two aligned. My personal profile was shut, but since I've opened it up, then it has accelerated my business even more. So, and a lot of the social media gurus and research shows that, use your personal profile. Just be mindful not to put links to your business to your website, or too many call to action links on your personal profile, because Facebook will track you down and could shut your personal profile down. So you can share messages of inspiration, share testimonials saying, oh my God, I'm so happy, I'm celebrating, but make sure that you're not putting links on there to your business, to your website. If you're doing live streams, do them on your business page. You can share them to your personal profile. Okay, so sixth tip is, when it comes to filling your discovery call calendar and generating leads. Let me just check, where's my water? Generating leads on social media. One thing that gets overlooked quite often is having an offer ready, being offer ready. Now, in this time, and again, you know, if you've just jumped on at the beginning, I want you to go back to the beginning of this, because we're talking about in these challenging times, this is not the time to shrink away. This is your opportunity to show up, to speak up, to serve powerfully, to solve the key problems of your ideal clients. Because guys, if you don't, then somebody else will. Somebody less, you know, less credible, less specialized, less qualified, less experienced than you will step in, because there are going to be more people coming into coaching because they're, you know, their bricks and mortar businesses shut down, or, you know, they are out of a job and they think, oh, do you know what, I'll go into life coaching. So these people with less specialisms or skills or experience than you are gonna step up and speak to your people. So one of the things that you might need to do is create some new offer, or adjust your offer, or pivot your offer to because of the current circumstances. Being of service, still helping people, but you're just being more aligned with where they're at. You know, they may have moved their situation. Things are different now. They have, you know, their problem may be slightly different, but you can still serve them. Or you shift your ideal client avatar slightly. But you've got to have an offer ready, and there's a couple of reasons for this. So craft your offer with clarity around who it's for, specifically who is it for. Understand what are the deliverables of this offer. So what are they getting for this offer? So these are logistical things, like, are they going to get unlimited access to me via Voxer, or, you know, unlimited email access? How many calls? Are those calls one-on-one? Are we going to have a workshop style? Is it going to be, you know, a full day VIP? So really get clear on what are the deliverables of this offer. But also, of course, the outcomes. What is the problem this offer solves, and what are the outcomes that this offer produces? So get really clear on all of those things. There's a reason that is an energetic reason, and people sort of think this is an odd one, but it's so powerful. And the reason why it's important to have an offer out already set up and laid out is because if you don't, you will energetically sabotage your best efforts to get leads and discovery calls. Newsflash, guys. How will you do that? Why would you do that? Well, think about it this way. If you want clients and you're going out there and you're saying, you know, here's my stuff, I'm an expert, this is my, you know, value, and you're consistently showing up and sharing value because you want leads and discovery calls and clients, but in the background, you're not clear on what it is you're actually selling, you've got incongruent energy. Your head is going, we can't help these people, we don't know how. And your heart is going, I can help you. So these two are kind of in conflict with each other. But your subconscious, being the main driver, is protecting you constantly. And the way it does that is by sabotaging your best efforts, because you don't want to be discovered as a fraud. Because if somebody gets on a call with you, you're going to have to wing it. I don't have anything to offer. I'll just chuck something together. It's not going to be authentic. It's not going to be like a real thought out solution, and you know, so you don't want to wing your offer. You want to create something that is really robust and something that you're really excited about delivering, and that you trust absolutely hand on heart that you can deliver the results. That's so key. On any level, doubt your ability to get the results for your clients, again, you're going to sabotage yourself because you don't want to be discovered as a fraud. You don't want to have any complaints. You don't want people saying, I paid you so much money and you didn't get me the results. So you've got to make sure that what you're offering is really robust, and that you believe wholeheartedly that you can help somebody get the results. That's powerful. Okay, so let's move on a bit to messaging. One of the things that I would recommend that you do when it comes to empowering your messaging and creating messaging that is way more impactful and way more empowering. The way to do this is a bit of groundwork. You have to do a bit of groundwork. You can do this today, you can do it immediately. The groundwork is to create 2 clear narratives and 2 clear archetypes. So the narratives you're going to entitle Hell and Heaven. So you know exactly where I'm going with this, don't you? So you're going to have your 2 narratives for your 2 archetypes. The archetypes is the ideal client avatar before you, where they are right now, and the second archetype is after you. Give them a name. You know, mine is Coach in Fear, Stuck Coach is Hell. Heaven is Coach on Fire, Unstoppable Coach. So I kind of interchange those 2. But you've got the Hell and the Heaven. And then the narratives that go with each of those archetypes is write down in vivid, graphic, technicolor detail what is going on. What's the impact of the problem that you solve on your client right now, on your prospects right now? How is it impacting her health? How is it impacting her relationships? What's it doing to her self-esteem and her confidence? How is it perpetuating worse situations and more results? Where's she heading if she doesn't solve this problem quickly? What would life look like in 12 months' time, 2 years' time, 5 years' time if things don't change? Get that detailed. Whatever your niche is, there is a narrative that you can write for the hell she's in right now that will connect you so deeply to, fuck, I have to help this person. You know, so get really clear. The power of doing that is not just to connect you so that you think, right, God, oh my God, it's given me that uplift to go out there and powerfully help this person because I know how it feels. I can't bear it, and I know where they'll end up if they don't get my help. All of that is good, but also what it does is you're writing from the heart, you start to pull out areas that you can start to use in your content. So as you learn to use those kind of really impactful language and descriptors for where she is, fearlessly use those kind of descriptions, describe how it feels in her chest or in her tummy or in the thoughts that are going on in her head. Describe it, because that's how you attract your ideal clients. And especially if you think about, well, social media is noisy, there's so much going on in all these feeds, how do I stand out? That's how you stand out. Because we need something to move us emotionally in order to attract our attention. So if something doesn't move us emotionally, scroll, ignore, forget. But when we're impacted by something that resonates emotionally, we stop. We're caught. Our attention is attracted and caught. So that's the importance of the hell narrative. Equally, life after you. Again, technicolor, detail, what will she be doing? How will she be feeling? What will that do to her ability to create wealth or love in her life, or have more vitality, or sleep 8 hours a night and just, feel more love, improve her relationships, attract the man of her dreams, whatever niche you're in, to grow their business, whatever your niche, you can get really detailed on the heaven, life after you. So as you do that at both ends of the spectrum, you connect to this person, you can maybe draw out sort of other skills and ways that you can help, but your messaging will be massively more powerful when you can really get to the meat and bones of what this problem is that you solve for your client. Okay, guys, so tip number 8, how are we doing for time? Oh, we're not bad, we're nearly done. Tip number 8, I've got an exercise for you again, get your pen and paper. So this one is about setting intentions. We talked about your ideal client avatar, right? We talked about getting clear on who they are, and you know you have to do that in order to create the powerful messaging and to position yourself in front of these people. But one thing that's quite important to do as well is to set an intention around the kind of attitudes and attributes of the person you want to attract. So yes, you've got your ideal client all just, you know, laid out and clear, but you also want to just set some intentions around what are the qualities and characteristics of the people that I want to attract, and also the characters, qualities and attributes and attitudes that I absolutely will not tolerate. And when you get clear on those two things, that's very powerful for your own alignment, for your own energy, kind of sets your bar higher. What it also does, you set your expectations higher, which again is very powerful. You get what you expect in a lot of situations. Your focus is more succinct and on point. But also what it does is it saves you a lot of time wasting, because when you lay these things out, and I'm going to demonstrate for you in a second, when you lay these things out clearly, what I want to attract, what I absolutely will not tolerate, you spot them really quickly when you're conversing with somebody, even in private message, or you're on a call with somebody, you've had a discovery call, and you start to notice behaviours that you think, oh no, I am up to speed. I am not going to take this client on. Never take a client on out of desperation. That is bad news, bad news, bad news. It's not worth it. It will come back to bite you every time. So what I want you to do is grab a piece of paper, and on that piece of paper, put a line down the middle, and on the top left, just head it up, I will not tolerate. I will not tolerate. And then on the right, I only work with. And create two lists of I only work with and the type of people, the type of characteristics. So for example, in this example, I only work with fast action takers, prompt payers, people who take 100% responsibility, people who are open-minded and willing to try new things, clients who respect the coaching relationship, clients who respect me, clients who respect themselves. Start to build out that list. You can get a feel. This isn't your, the ideal client avatar thing. This is the type of people, the qualities and characteristics that you're raising your bar to. And then in the I will not tolerate, again, I've got here people who pay late, whiners, moaners, complainers, bitches, blamers, all of those, that category. People who show up late or cancel at the last minute or don't even let you know. If somebody's booked a discovery call and they don't show up and they don't message you, you're like, don't bother booking a second one. Because if you haven't got the decency to message me because you couldn't make it or whatever, then, that goes in my I will not tolerate. People who don't take responsibility. So you can, again, see, I will not tolerate these particular types of people, and I can spot them very quickly now. And it's no good. So what a lot of my clients do, and I encourage, is actually cut down the middle and torch this section. I will not tolerate. Torch it, set it alight. Put that energy out there. It's gone forever. And the important thing to understand here is with the I only work with, make sure that you are being in integrity by being the people you want to attract. Be the person you want to attract. The law of cause and effect, guys, again, very, very powerful. If you want to attract these people, you've got to be these people in every way, in your attitudes and how you show up. Be willing to do things differently, take responsibility, don't pay late, respect yourself, respect the coaching relationship you have with your coach, but be the person that you want to attract 100%. Okay, Tip number 9. This. So simple, yet a game changer. Tip number 9 is what will make the difference for you every single day in your activities, in your endeavours to fill your discovery call calendar and sign up wonderful clients. This will be the difference that makes the difference in any area of your life, actually, between failure and success. I say failure in inverted commas because failure is only failure if you don't learn from it. It's the thing that will make the difference between you being in fear and paralysis and going down the rabbit hole, or being highly motivated, being on top of your game, showing up every day from a place of like high energy enthusiasm. So the difference that makes the difference is your focus. I know, it's so obvious, isn't it? Focus, 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 focus. What you focus on moment to moment, you get to choose that. That's totally your choice. And, you know, are you going to focus on the lack of engagement and then let the monkey mind tell you that it's because you're no good, or you can't do this, nobody's buying, there's no clients out there, everyone's got no money, and that's your that's a simple focus. And what that will do, that level of focus, it will make you feel crap because your thoughts affect your feelings. So you'll start to get that pounding in your chest, you'll start to feel stressed, you'll start to feel anxious, you'll start to get worried and think, I might need to go get a job. No. And I might need to do something like, you know, throw in the towel on my beloved business and go get a job. So what that will then do is it will affect your ability to take action. You'll feel paralyzed physically, your messaging will be forced, you'll have no creativity and inspiration because you'll be stressed out. All the oxygen in your blood will flow from your reasoning mind, your logic mind, your creative mind, your inspired mind into your fight or flight reaction part of your mind. So all of it will affect how you behave. And of course, how you behave affects your outcomes, your results. So, and it's a choice. It started up here and it kind of spiraled down there, but it was a choice right from up here. So your choice then is to move your focus to what it is you actually want to believe. I know my people are out there. I love putting my message out there. I know she's watching. She's got, you know, she's getting ready to work with me. They're always out there. People with lots of money. Coaching is a priority for so many people. Personal development is a priority, no matter what your niche is. If your niche is health or love or mindset, focus on how these things create such an impact in people's lives, how they want to change their lives. And as you start to focus up there, you start to feel excited. You picture your vision. All of that excites you. You feel enthusiastic. You're breathing deeply. You feel elated. Blood rushes to the front of your mind, you get inspired, you feel creative. All of that then creates a whole new set of behaviours and action taking. You show up, you start to show up. And then guess what? Results. Your results are completely different. It's a choice and it starts up here. Your point of focus. You know, just today, I had 2 conversations with clients. One of them, she's freaking out about this world crisis. She's okay, she's healthy, her family are healthy, her kids are great, she has a great business, she has a powerful gift to make a difference in the people's lives. She is freaking out, massively, paralysed, fear-struck. Then I had another client conversation, and this guy is saying to me, do you know, everyone's melting down and I'm just so buoyant. I just feel so confident. I feel great. I know that, you know, I'm still powerful, that this is an abundant universe. And, you know, as long as I am aligned and, you know, aligned with my source and I feel this way, then abundance is infinite. And he's in, you know, not such a bad situation in terms of his family. He's not ill. His family, nobody's, you know, poorly with the virus. So these 2 people, there's situations, it's a matter of focus. And so this guy, he's showing up, he's working, he's got clients, he's being creative, he's getting new ideas. So it's a matter of focus. Don't let whatever's going on around you to dictate what you have control over, complete control over. So you can empower yourself, change your state, whatever that means for you, whether that's involved as power posing or going out running or listening to inspiring music or podcasts, or, you know, just get in the flow with some activity. That'll distract you. Pomodoro method, set an alarm, 45 minutes, and just focus. And that will snap you out of the state. Okay, and as I said earlier, practice with faith. Faith is vital when you're at the moment things are, perhaps you're not seeing what you want to see. You have to believe it first in order to see it. So you've got to not care what it looks like on the surface. Just know that your people are watching you. And one thing, just let me give you a quick another quick analogy that I like to share around focus. And you've probably heard me say this before if you've been following me for a while, so I'm sorry if you have heard it before, but I'm just going to drive the message home again. There's an analogy in racing car driving. I'm not a racing car driver, I just love this analogy. I heard it from Tony Robbins, actually. But Tony Robbins talks about when you are learning, when racing drivers are learning how to master their car and their skill of being a high-speed racing driver, they get taught to do something in a crisis situation that is completely counterintuitive, but it will save their life. So it takes a lot of practice, and it's, you know, it's mental focus. But what they have to do is, if they are in a situation where they are out of control of the car and they are spinning towards a barrier, so they know they're about to have a headlong collision at whatever stupid speeds, 140 miles an hour, whatever, and they're heading that fast towards a barrier ready for a head-on collision. Every part of our instinct is to face the direction that we're heading, so right into the barrier. Racing car drivers get taught to flip their head away to the opposite direction, because what that does is everything in our body follows where we're looking. Amazing. So as you switch your focus, you automatically turn the wheel, save your life. And you know, you probably know this if you are driving your car and you get caught looking at a billboard or something, you slowly turn the car and you're like, oh shit. And so that guys is an incredible analogy for how you've got to practice like a racing car driver to shift your focus in the direction that you actually want to be heading. Not towards the barrier, not towards the collision, but to in the direction of where you actually want to be going. Because what happens is every part of you will follow. Your body, your brain, your focus, your creativity, your energy, everything will follow and guide you and go with you to wherever it is you're focusing on. Okay, all right, good stuff, good stuff. So the 10th tip that I have for you to get more leads, and more discovery calls booked in. And you can see a lot of this is mindset work. I'm trusting that, you know the strategy. You don't need me to keep banging on about show up, show up, show up, post, post, post. As long as you've got the fine tuning and you're aligned and you're clear on your ideal client and you know the problem you solve and how you're going to solve it and all of that, that's kind of the strategic stuff. But this is more the mindset, the reframes, the shifts in how you think that hopefully will create some breakthroughs for you to go, yep, I've got to do this no matter what's going on around me. It's my responsibility, you know. If it is to be, it's up to me. So tip number 10, the last one. Again, focus was powerful, but this is a strategy was instrumental to my success in business. This forms a bit of a culmination of all the previous 9 tips. But when I started doing this, it transformed my business. I became known for it, and there seems to be everyone's doing it, but really, statistically, not everyone's doing it. Still, so many people don't do it, or they do it inconsistently. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about being visible via video. It is so powerful, and it connects you faster with your audience, with your ideal clients, with your people. They feel like they know you. I get people on discovery calls with me all the time saying, oh my God, I feel like I just know you, because they've watched my videos. You get people who, if you've got lots of videos on your personal page, they find you once, they might do a bit of a binge watch in one go, and same day they're booking a call with you because they're able to binge watch your videos, and they've thought, yes, she knows her stuff, I trust, I'm in. And they'll see the history of videos, the history of posts, you know, you're always showing up consistently. Now, this was a really big one for me because, and I'm saying this because I want you to understand that if you are absolutely terrified of going live, of putting yourself out there in this way, I want you to know that I absolutely get it. It was my biggest fear, my biggest fear. Before I started my business, one of the things that I had as a metaphysical problem was I had massive neck pain. And, you know, before I discovered the whole personal development world and metaphysics and all of this kind of thing, I was seeing physios, I was popping ibuprofen. About 2 or 3 times a year I would crick my neck so it was completely stiff and I'd be moving like this. I suffered for 17 years. And finally, as I kind of started to explore other methods and disciplines and healing methods, I discovered homeopathy, and I reached out and said, could you help with a sore neck? It's got to the point where it's chronic. And within 2 hours, she fixed it. So it wasn't the remedy, although I took the remedy afterwards, but it was 2 hours of talking one-on-one with this homeopath. But what she said to me was, it's because you haven't used your voice. The neck, the throat, they're very, you know, that's a sign if you've got pain around your neck and throat. Any problems around there, it's because you're not speaking up, you're not using your voice, you're not speaking your truth. So that was kind of a massive symptom of me not being able to speak. I didn't speak. I was terrified of using my voice. And I had a limiting belief that it was unsafe to be me. So when you have a belief that it's unsafe to be yourself, then the last thing you're going to want to do is show up on video and live stream into somewhere like Facebook. It's terrifying, but I overcame it. That's the point. It's overcomable. So if you're telling me I'm terrified, it just sends me in hives and I feel like my heart is going to burst out of my chest, you know, I get it. I get it. Sometimes I did videos in the early days, I posted them, and then I went upstairs, I wanted to kind of just break down, came back downstairs, deleted it. It was out there for about 2 minutes because I just couldn't bear it. So anything that you feel around fear of visibility, I absolutely get it. And I do a lot of work with my clients to help them overcome that fear because I had to do this work for myself. So it's part of, you know, all the programs that I run. If somebody has that level of fear, it's overcomable. And one thing I want to say, just kind of from a biological point of view, the fear is also understandable. You know, it can be intensified massively through our own limiting beliefs and our own experiences. But actually, it's not natural to be really visible. It goes against everything that is our biological safety mechanism. And, you know, so rejection, fear of judgment, fear of criticism, they're all really real to us because it means we're being seen. And our primal safety mechanism is to actually hide. Because if we're, you know, think about it, when we were roaming the savannas and bears and predators, saber-toothed tigers, all that were very real predators, the very real dangers, we would stalk. We would hide. We would not stand in the middle of an expanse, a plain of land, because of a target. So actually that level of exposure is not natural for ourselves to feel safe. It doesn't make. And public speaking, why is it up there with death as a top 2 or 3 fear? It's because all these eyeballs are on us. It's inherently dangerous to us. So I want you to understand that the fear is just natural, but we have to overcome that because it's no longer relevant. Obviously it's no longer relevant. Nothing's going to come and eat me because I'm live streaming out into Facebook. It's old biology. It's still with our cells, but it's overcomable. Try things like EFT tapping to overcome the fear, meditation, self-coaching. So if you really want to go out there and be really visible and do video, which absolutely is the quickest way to connect with your audience, then you can do some self-coaching. You really want to do it, so ask yourself, what's it costing me not doing it? What opportunities am I missing? What's it doing to my self-esteem every day, promising today I'm going to do it, today I'm going to do it, and then you get to the evening and you haven't done it? What's that doing to your self-esteem? And then as part of the self-coaching, ask yourself, if in 12 months' time I'm still not showing up on video or live streaming, how will I feel about myself then? What might that do for my children? How will it negatively impact my business growth? You can self-coach yourself to think, I have to do this now. It's like creating a sense of urgency because you're scaring yourself and realizing that, fuck, the cost of not doing this is just too great. So that's your self-coaching. Okay, guys, so 10 key tips. I hope you found them helpful to really just get yourself out there. Coming back to the original question of, is this the right time? Should I be doing this? Yes, is the answer to that. You have to get over any limiting beliefs you have around this not being the right time or any of that crap, because as I said, if you don't, somebody else will. Somebody else will jump in and, talk to your people. Somebody who doesn't care what anybody else thinks. And truthfully, neither should you. Just care about serving, care about being there for your community. People are out there, they need your help. Whatever niche you're in right now, it's going to be of value to people. It's going to be of value. So now more than ever. And what I just want to say to you is, you've seen probably that I've been promoting my group program, the Build Like a Boss Academy, which is for coaches. It's a 12-week program. But what I'm getting a lot of at the moment is people messaging me saying that what they need right now is clients like fast. They need a cash in their account. They're worried about their cash flow. And so what I want to do is I'm going to add in to the bundle, the Build Like a Boss Academy, still the 90-day program, but I'm going to introduce into there a sprint. Now the sprint is something I've run before. I take clients through it quite frequently if I'm on a one-to-one. And the sprint will get you really, really fast results. Now, this is for people, if you're brand new to your coaching business and you've not generated any kind of momentum or you've not got an audience built up and you've not been showing up consistently, the sprint is probably not appropriate for you. But if you have an audience and you've been in your business, you're pretty established, but they're just not converting and you need some quick wins, you need clients quickly, then the sprint would be a really, really great thing for you. I am able to see what is wrong with your messaging, what needs tweaking, how you can pivot and adjust things, just even a fraction that will shift your results. So, just examples, this is clients like Tish Hawkin. She had built an audience exactly over 12 months, but she wasn't converting them. After our second session, within 24 hours of the second session, making those tweaks, she signed her first paying client. She also signed up 12 months, a contract. She wasn't even offering a contract for 12 months, but somebody signed to work with her for 12 months of coaching, and she attracted a keynote speaker opportunity within her clear niche. Yvonne, we had a couple of like laser sessions. She signed up £6,100 in 4 weeks. Went through my sprint. She made £5,000 in her business. Kelly Lunt went through one of my trainings and sales. The very next 2 calls, she signed up 2 clients for 1,800. So, you know, I'm able to get those quick results for you if you have that established, that kind of 12-month momentum, but nothing's really gaining traction. So you will get that, guys. I'm offering it at a really great price point so that you can get in, and I've spread the payments over a longer period of time so that you've got my support over the next, you know, few months, coming months, as well as, you know, immediate dialing in on exactly what needs fixing in your business. So if you're interested in that, please just private message me. Let's have a conversation. Let's see if it's a good fit for you. But we start on Tuesday. We start next week. So I really want to help you in this time of uncertainty to create some certainty, to create some cash flow, so you can actually start to feel the faith again, start to believe that this isn't going to affect you. You have, you know, you've got more mental fortitude and more opportunities out there than any other time. All right, my loves, sending you tons of love. Thank you so much for watching. If you've got questions at all, pop them below. But remember, just private message me if you're needing that certainty and cash flow in your account quickly, into your business quickly, then just drop me a message. All right, guys, I shall speak to you all again soon, and bye for now.